Gush, 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 gush.
I'm feeling sticky today. I am Greg, and I'm here to say that I am covered in my homemade honey that I want to share with my buddy. It's Don and Greg. We're back with the Boxcar Buddies. We want to talk about video games and music and movies too. Maybe a book. Who cares? I don't like to read. I think it's bullshit. I think reading is for nerds.
You think so?
No, I read a lot.
It's good for you. It's good for people to read.
It makes your brain smart.
It's supposed to make it grow, and you can learn things.
You know what else makes your brain grow?
That pill from that movie?
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard that.
The strong pills.
Yeah. With Bradley.
Also radiation. If you just dunk your head into one of those toxic waste barrels, your brain gets all big.
Like one of those lime green liquidy leaking ones. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, we can look for those. We can look for those actually in this little pond that's just outside the window of this boxcar.
It's such a beautiful spring day, we decided to keep the boxcar door open. Thankfully,
Yes.
there's very little wind.
Yes, very
You
little
might
wind.
hear a chirp,
Occasional
but
bird chirps.
otherwise it sounds like it normally it is.
Ooh, except for those two birds play fighting now, right outside the door.
Oh, they're really going at
This seems less like play, actually.
My money's on the pigeon.
You think so?
Pigeon.
Well,
Oh,
that's a dove.
Oh,
It's killing the dove.
Oh.
Boy.
It's dead.
Damn it.
Damn, dude.
Here, let me grab
Wow.
that corpse.
That was brutal.
Let me at least grab... Yeah, get out of here.
Cleaned his head right off.
That's disgusting.
It's hard to describe.
Well,
Friendos and frienderinos.
We'll save that for the fire later.
As soon as the pigeon just bit down with its beaky little beak on top of the dove, it then screw-drived around it. Just
Yeah, it was like a Power Ranger move. It was like one of those corkscrew
except,
twists.
instead of, taking down a giant man in a Goldar costume, it was an animal.
Yeah.
And it has no head.
A real live animal. And soon to have no body after Greg and I strip the feathers off and throw it on the grill over here and have ourselves a little mid-afternoon snack.
We got ourselves a springtime barbecue, baby.
And that is about as much as we can hope for as two homeless dudes on the streets of Chicago. We are the Boxcar Buddies.
Boxcar Buddies.
Do-do-do-do-do. I'm Don, and that is Greg, and
That's
we
me.
like to meet once a week if we can in or around the city of Chicago, because that's where we reside. And what Greg and I need to do is acquire some sort of abandoned boxcar that no one's going to miss, and that's where we set
Or
up
any
our...
kind of vehicle that we can kind of get our hands on.
Pretty
Sometimes
much.
a lemon.
We do not discriminate in terms of vehicles. All it needs is four walls, a floor, and ideally a ceiling, maybe a window that opens, and we are game.
I mean, we were originally thinking of calling the show the Automobile Pals, but there's no like that alliteration thing, like the Peter Parker, Boxcar Buddies.
Right. You like
The
to
buh-buh.
hear the two letters, same letters immediately following the other one, and it's pleasing to the ear. It's
It
nice.
sounds good.
Yeah. So that's what
it's
we
like
did.
it's like a tiny little orgasm.
Exactly. In the
When I
ears.
hear that beep,
Yeah, you just squirt a little bit. It's an involuntary muscle contraction. It's pleasure. It's great. It's good stuff.
you love it.
So that's why we named it this. You're welcome. And therefore we also decided we needed to start grabbing boxcars as exclusively as we could in order to fulfill the prophecy by the name that we chose and all that. So that's kind of what we've been doing for the last few months. And we're glad if this is your first time coming, welcome. And if it's after your first time being here,
if you're a regular
local,
frienderino,
then welcome back. Thank you so much. We appreciate having you. And what we like to do, Greg and I, is when we're not gifted with some unexpected animal bounties, just right outside the open door of the boxcar on a spring day, we'll talk about some content that the two of us have somehow absorbed over the prior week. Whether
that we've gotten our mononuclearosises around.
Exactly, through osmosis.
That's a science term. That's for our smart friends.
Exactly. You're welcome for that one, too. And, what we do is we'll talk about some of that stuff, whether we watch it, play it, listen to it, read it, even though, sometimes...
Bop it, twist it, pull it.
Tow it to Gulf Mill Ford, you know what I'm talking about?
No.
Whatever you got to do.
No, I don't. I'm
yeah,
sorry.
I know. Well, we don't have
That
cars
was a
anymore.
reference that just went...
It's a local thing. It's a Chicago thing. And since my man Greg is from Philly, he's a Philly boy, it's understandable. But it's a local Chicago commercial, not really around anymore. And I really wouldn't know anyway because we don't have cable, local or extended.
Well, I mean, I kind of have cable. I have streaming.
Yeah, you do. On your robot hand, which has a little TV screen right in the middle. There you go, flexing that bad boy.
Great.
Connected to the internet, giving Greg and I access to the whole world of information, which has been nice because it makes us feel a little more plugged in, I think. Certainly.
Yeah, we can keep more up to date as opposed to just guesstimating when
Right.
we watch something and go, who was in that? I don't know.
Exactly.
Who cares?
It gives us the pleasure too of creeping on some people from our past lives on social media and getting to see what sort of hijinks or failures they've been up to lately, just like any other normal person. And I'll tell you that is.
I don't think normal people do that.
Oh,
I think
sure they
like
do.
creepers do that.
No,
like
normal
stalkers.
people do it. Normal
Like when
people do it.
when you're trying to follow someone, like, oh man, I'm super jealous of them because they were really cool in high school and they're still really cool. I mean, it sounds pretty creepy.
It's only creepy if you are looking for a specific time and location in which to interact with them, which I'm not doing. So
Okay, so then, all right,
Yeah.
that makes it fine.
yeah, totally. So
As long as when you're following them, you're keeping a nice 50-yard distance. it's
absolutely, yeah, and otherwise it's just about gathering of information and being able to maintain a healthy shadow. It's just that kind of thing. So, that allows us to do that. Greg's robot hand does, and that also helps us look into more information, get a little deeper into whatever we're talking about. And I know, speaking of content and all that, my man Greg, you seem like you got something brewing.
I do.
A little brewing underneath the
I
surface
do.
there. What do you got?
Well, I've been hanging out with Scummy for a little bit. Ooh. Me and him are back in speaking terms.
Scummy, good friend of ours, botanist guy, hangs out outside the city, lives in a high rise, has all kinds of electronic stuff. Good dude.
He's a real troll in Central Park, but I don't think there's a Central Park here in Chicago.
No, not that I know.
But he has a beautiful high rise. Mm-hmm. He has some beautiful plants, and me and him patched things up. I patched his door up.
Nice. So you literally patched it up.
He kind of made me do it.
Okay.
But we got to chatting and whatnot, and then he said, I got this game that I really want you to play. I think you'll like it because you told me all about this game called Yakuza 0. I was like, yeah,
I remember you.
I really like that game. It was a lot of fun. I played it in a cramped environment, but it was still a lot of fun. And he shows me the remake for Yakuza 1 called Yakuza Kiwami.
Yakuza
Kiwami.
La 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 la.
It sounds like a delicious sushi dish.
It does. It sounds
I would
like
enjoy
something...
the Yakuza Kiwami, please.
Or perhaps maybe a dessert following an Asian cuisine. Like something to settle the stomach.
Mm-hmm. Something to make the... Well, I wouldn't say that with Yakuza Kiwami if you're coming straight from playing Yakuza 0.
It doesn't settle your stomach.
Ooh, it overbloats you.
Oh,
it's a lot of the same stuff over and over and over and over and over again.
Sure.
So Yakuza Kiwami, as I said, is a remake of the very first Yakuza game, which came out on PS2 in like early 2000s. But this uses the same exact engine as Yakuza 0. So, really, it's a remake of a game using all of the assets from a newer game. So there's
recycled parts.
It's almost exactly the same game because all the combat powers that the main character Kiryu has. Kiryu Kazuma.
I'm going to cure you now.
See, his name sounds like he'll kill you, but he's actually a man with a heart of gold.
Oh.
Yeah, he's a good boy.
He doesn't kill anybody? Spoiler?
Not voluntarily.
Oh.
He doesn't do it because he's like, I have to do it for my Yakuza. I have to do it for my patriarch.
Right.
He's just kind of like, oh shit, a dude just pulled out an AK. Gonna use this butler as a shield.
I
Also,
see.
you can do a bunch of really cool combos and shit with knives and guns, but it doesn't kill anyone. It just knocks them out.
Kind of like those Arkham games. That was always fun, where Batman, you could slam into someone in the Batmobile, and somehow they're still alive.
They're still alive because
he doesn't kill anybody.
Magic Parachute pops out from the back wheel of the Batmobile. I'm sorry.
You're welcome.
Make sure to call Wayne Enterprises for the insurance.
I don't kill anybody.
I'm not Bruce Wayne, but I work for the company.
The number's on the Batmobile. Dial it.
I'll leave the number on your windshield.
Dial 188 first.
Dial 1-800-BATS if you're ever feeling hurt.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
But in any case, because it's kind of a recycled game, it's very hard to go into Yakuza Kiwami if you just played 0.
Uh-huh.
If you give yourself enough time and space, I think Kiwami is a more solid experience and a more fun game. Mm-hmm. Mainly because the story, the original Yakuza was like cool when it came out. It's like, oh fuck, this is so tight.
Right.
Like it's this weird action beat 'em up game that's mixed with like RPG elements, and you can gamble and play cards.
Ooh, a little something different in there.
A little something different. Hello?
Oh, Jesus. Come on. What do you... Don't whistle throughout the window there. We're trying to record
Get
something.
out of here, you goddamn pigeon!
Yeah, okay. Get out. Yeah, that's enough.
I don't like that pigeon. It's
No, me
giving us
neither.
like... It's giving us like...
Bird flu?
The murder eyes.
Yeah, and could be giving us bird flu.
I don't think he likes that we took that dove corpse. I think he wants to lay claim to it.
Actually, did you notice there was blood on one of the talons of that pigeon? It might be the one that
It is the
dove
one.
had on. Yeah, so it's just floating around the outside looking for the rest of its fucking kill.
Oh, it knows it's here. Like, you're not hiding it, man.
Oh shit, yeah, you're right. Let me move this out of the field of sight there.
Here, just, let's put some of this junk on top of it.
Oh yeah, good idea. Okay, we got a symbol, we got a cloth, and a shoe. There we go.
A can,
Those are all good things.
a Swiss Army knife,
What the...
and some thumbtacks.
All right. I'm going to spread the thumbtacks on the outside of the door there, just in case anybody comes in.
As bird proofing?
Yeah, as bird proofing and any unwanted
You know,
guests.
it's got, you know, birds can fly over that.
Birds land all the time, though.
But the bird can land in the car.
I'm just going to leave them out. I already spread them out outside the door, so I'm just going to leave them over there for now. The
All right.
Swiss Army knife I'm going to put in my pocket in case anybody gets past the thumbtacks and comes over here. And then now the bird's still out of view. So
See, now we both have Swiss Army knives, except, you know, mine's a hand.
Yeah, you always have that Swiss Army
Mine's
knife.
better.
Yeah, you can open cans. You can do all kinds of stuff.
I can shoot things.
You can look at the internet. You can look at porn.
I sure can. I wish I could look up porn in Yakuza, though. You can't, though.
You can't do that.
No, the game said, no, don't do that. That's dirty. Even though in 0, you could date call girls and you can go to a literal porno shop and just watch softcore videos of real, like, Japanese porn artists.
So it seems like they got there in their own way.
They got there. It was a slow build.
Right.
But in any case, I really love the story for Kiwami. It's a solid-ass story. So, it takes place 17 years after 0. Kiryu is a lieutenant in the Yakuza.
Cool.
He's about to be given his own family.
Ooh.
He's going to be in charge of like his own gang. He's going to take care of his own shit. It's a big deal. He's like, I'm real fucking pumped. This is going to be cool. I'm going to shape shit up.
Right.
I'm going to be a threat.
Yeah.
But I'm a cool dude.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm gonna
people like
threaten
me.
my way. Yeah.
I will threaten people who are assholes.
Right.
But what happens is your best friend and your sworn oath brother
Thwone brother.
murders your patriarch, the guy you work for,
And the guy who was going to elevate you, presumably.
the guy who was going to
Yeah.
elevate you. So Kiryu, being such a good guy, takes the heat. He says that I'm going to take it. I will go to jail because I know you can't handle it. That's how bad Kiryu is. He's just like, you will be destroyed.
So he's just...
I can do it.
So he's content to just, like, wait in prison while it all blows up?
Yep, because he knows that his adopted father, who is also a major head in the Yakuza gang, he was like, he's going to be fine, and when he gets out, he's going to take my place.
Is his dad's name Kier Them?
Yes, it's Cure Them Kazuma. Their grandfather is Kiral.
And
they're great. They're a long lineage from the genocide family.
Yes, and the top of which being Kier Us,
Kiral.
Kier R of us. So yeah, right. It's a fucked up family lineage. Yeah,
It is. I wish he picked a better name for Kazuma,
but it trickled down, and now he's a badass. And
he kind of has to continue the lineage. So 10 years later, Kiryu gets out, and he's rusty. Like, he is not good at what he's doing.
Tin Man.
But he ends up finding this little girl who's lost, who ends up being a family member of his childhood love, and the woman who the best friend murdered their patriarch for, because the patriarch was going to rape her. Damn. So the whole story, it's deep ground, underground, seedy shit. Ew. Like, the story is very serious. It takes itself, like, it wants to let you know this is a dark environment. A lot of things are sad. Things are bleak. Kiryu may be a good guy, but, like, he's still a gang member. And even in 10 years of prison did its toll. It did its toll on his psyche, and it did its toll on his whole outlook in life. He's still kind of a golden boy, but at the same time, he's kind of like...
Now he's a little rough around the edges.
He's always been rough around the edges. The dude can't stop scowling. Just everywhere he goes, just heavy eyebrows, just so mad.
Yeah.
He sounds like a thwonk. But the story is fantastic. I absolutely love it. And Kiwami does a one-up from the original game where it actually focuses on the main villain, Nishiki, your best friend who murdered the patriarch. He went bad after you left.
Nishiki.
He spent 10 years just turning into like a murderer. Just goes around fucking offing people. And the game does a great job of showcasing what Nishiki was doing in those 10 years, which was never done in the original game. So this is why I think it has a major leg up in the original PS2 one. Because you care about the villain. If you played Zero beforehand, you even care about him more because he was a protagonist in the previous game. It makes him really human and really likable. And then when he eventually turns into a boss character, it's like, oh fuck, this dude's rough.
Yeah,
he wants to beat the shit out of me. Yeah. But he'll lose because I'm goddamn Kiryu.
Because I'm better.
Because I'll Kiryu.
That's what I've been born to do.
But there's one thing I really, really fucking hate in this game. I thought I would love it at first. I don't love it anymore after I finished it. There's something called the Majima Everywhere. Majima was a character from Zero, playable character, eye patch guy. He's a crazy pants.
Fun to fight in that first game?
He's fun to fight. He's amazing to play as. He's fun to fight the first couple times. But it's almost non-stop. Like, it turns into, like, every street corner, he's waiting for you. So the Majima Everywhere system, beating Majima gives you skills. It gives you better attacks.
Right.
But it's a huge wheel. There's like 50 skills you have to learn.
Is that the only way to unlock those skills?
The only way to unlock the skills are to fight him.
That is
and
obnoxious.
It's not hard to find him.
Yeah.
He is at
everywhere.
Every street corner. It starts great because he'll pop up in like trash cans and it's funny.
Yeah.
Because like you'll walk and then all of a sudden you get like this alert. You turn around, you start hearing like Majima's like battle music, and then you see a fucking trash can lid just slowly lift up, and there he is, like serious scowl on his face, and then he just goes, "I found you.
Happy to see you. Let's fight."
It turns to shit as it keeps going because he gets more and more HP every time you beat him.
Oh, God.
So it's not like a fight that you can just kind of like mash square and win like you can with like random hordes of enemies.
Yes.
It's something where you have to learn his movesets. You got to learn how he does everything.
And he gets harder every time.
He gets harder every time, and he's fucking everywhere.
That's obnoxious.
It's almost impossible to avoid him. You can't run away from fights.
Sounds like the kind of thing that would sort of suck the fun a little bit out of a game. At least
if you
partially.
actively spend a lot of time doing side content, that's all you're going to end up doing. Because even when you're doing side missions, like, because you can do sub-story stuff that helps build like Kiryu's character and just fun stuff about the world and how goofy and wacky Yakuza is outside the main story. But even if you're doing like, even if you're in a fight with just a random like collection of thugs you run into, Majima can just break in if you fought him a lot.
Oh my god!
So
he's gonna hijack a fight.
He
that
will
you're already
hijack
in?
a fight. Because he's just like, he wants to fight you real bad.
Right.
And it took everything that I loved about the character and just made me despise him more and more and more. It got to a point where there are points in the story where the game will stop you from fighting Majima any longer. Because it's like, okay, we ended up having you fight Majima too many times. You learned like 30 skills. He's just going to take a break for the rest of this chapter. I'm like, good. That's great. I do nothing but story stuff for maybe like 2 hours, and then immediately I get a phone call from Majima's like second in command. It's like, hey, the boss is out again. I'm sorry.
Jeez.
Like the minigame stuff with him, I feel like if they kept that shorter, like if you fought him 10 times, getting stronger every time, because there are special events to do. Like you'll run into like Cop Majima, where he's like, "Oh, you have a weapon on you? Gotta beat you up." He'll dress up in drag, and then you do like the host girl minigame from Zero, where you chat him up and you try and warm him up and make him feel all good about himself. And it's hilarious because here's this grown ass dude with an eye patch, wearing a wig and a dress, and you can see his fucking Yakuza tats because his sleeves are from his chest to his back.
Right.
And then he's just like, "Oh, Kiryu-chan."
Right.
I feel beautiful.
Right. It sounds it sounds funny.
It's
but again,
funny, but it gets
after
old.
a while,
it gets old
It just
fast.
sucks the fun out of it.
But all in all, I think Kiwami is a great game. I think its story is way more focused and better than Zero. But I think Zero might be just more fun because you don't have to fight Majima all the time, and you get to play as him.
That's an added bonus. That sounds fun.
And playing as him is amazing because of his fight styles. He can be a break dancer. His one style, he has an infinite baseball bat, doesn't run out of ammo, it doesn't break.
Love it.
You can just beat the shit out of dudes like that.
Everybody.
His normal style called Thug, you can fuck around with enemies, you poke their eyes, you can jump behind them and put them in chokeholds.
Doink.
It's a lot of fun shit like that.
Yeah.
Kiwami's a good time. Try and avoid Majima. Just try.
Yeah.
It sucks.
Yeah, that's what it sounds
because
like.
he's my favorite character from the series.
Yeah.
It sucks.
That's a bummer.
Yeah.
But it sounds like a good game otherwise.
Otherwise, it's a great game. It plays exactly like Zero. Like, to the T, because it's the same engine.
Cool. Yakuza
Kiwami. Kill you.
A delicious tropical game.
Kiwami.
Yeah. That sounds fun. Cool. All right. We'll check that out. How did you play that? PS4?
PS4 only.
Right. Okay. Gotcha.
It is a PlayStation only series, unfortunately.
Exclusive. Interesting. So, yeah, that sounds fun.
Yeah, but me and Scummy had a good time.
Yeah?
We just chatted it up. We talked about Kiryu.
Yeah.
He showed me his plants.
Virginia. Did you see how
I met Virginia?
Has she gotten bigger?
She's got way bigger.
Yeah. You know what he also told me? Virginia's actually a hermaphrodite plant. So, like, he named her Virginia, but it's got both male and female parts or chromosomes, I guess.
Amazing.
Yeah. Plants can do that, I guess, without, any kind of social stigmas.
Yeah, because you know what? Plants don't really care. They're just kind of
like that.
Oh, you're another plant too?
Yeah.
Cool. I'm a plant too. You want to photosynthesize together?
Love it.
I don't think Virginia is a photosynthesizer. I think she eats things.
Yeah, she eats. She's a carnivore. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, he's been feeding her like dinosaur chicken nuggets.
Oh,
she really likes them.
Yeah, but those are going to run out soon, aren't they? Like,
well, I mean, he just goes to the store and buys more.
Oh, I thought it was like a Jurassic Park thing.
No, unfortunately not. I wish we could have, like, actual dinosaur chicken nuggets.
Me too. You remember when that alligator washed up, like, from the river, and, like, all the homeless people just gathered around and ripped off chunks? How good was that
It was
alligator?
like watching, like, piranhas eat, like, an animal.
Oh, it was pretty ruthless. It was ruthless.
Into a river.
If I wasn't starving myself and in the throes of it, I definitely would have been judging everybody and, like, really grossed out. And I probably wouldn't have talked to a lot of those people again. But...
I mean, some good conversations have come out of, like, disemboweling an animal that just shows up
without question
on Lakeshore Drive.
Without question. But as I said, how good was that alligator? It tasted like spicy chicken, didn't it?
Yeah, it did. It was kind of like Kung Pao-y.
Yes, it was. Kung Pao-y-ful. Yeah, it was it was interesting. But that just makes me think of the dinosaur chicken nuggets. So I bet it tastes like alligators.
I think it tastes more like I'm gonna say it's more like a cross of pork and rabbit.
Pork and rabbit.
So it's a little tough but juicy, and it's got like gamey flavor to it.
Gamey. I like gamey flavors. I like video gamies too. Speaking of that, I played one this week.
What kind of video game did you play, Don?
It was on an Xbox, and I got an interesting sort of... it still feels sort of surreal to me, but I went to a restaurant, courtesy of Stu, actually. Stu works at this restaurant.
Why do you keep hanging out with that man? I
don't hang out with the dude. It's more like our paths cross,
I don't break away. As soon as you get in contact with him is when it counts as a hangout.
No, not at all. It's not intentional. We just cross paths a lot. I'm disgusted by his character, but he does work in the restaurant industry. He's well known as a cleaner. He'll work for practically no pay, and as long as you can ignore the racial mumblings, I mean, he gets work done all day.
Racial mumblings,
very racial. Just very...
getting. I don't think alt-right is correct for him.
No,
I think it's just
he's alt wrong, man.
He's alt
wrong. But anyway, I'll tell you. So we did cross paths. And he's like, he says to me, Don, why don't you follow me? I'm working in this nice restaurant this week. And I was like, okay, just keep your distance, walk ahead, and I'll go in after
10 paces in front of me.
10 paces in front of me. I don't want anybody thinking that we're together. And then, and so he does. He left the back door open. And it's this restaurant in this up and coming district of Chicago, the Fulton Market District. Very, very happening. I had to Stu let me borrow some pants and shoes so that I wouldn't stick out. It was it's a real nice place. All kinds of they bring all kinds of food in nonstop. There are these little cards on your table and you flip them, and one side's one color and the other side's brown. And the mystery color means they bombard you with food, and the brown means they leave you alone because you have to poop or something. And basically, so I'm like, what? So, Stu leaves the door open, and I didn't really, they had a salad bar and they had bread rolls, so I just kind of meandered slowly over, and I scooped a bunch, and I loaded my pockets, and Stu even gave me some some of those big Ziploc baggies to line my pockets with, so I could just actually. Brought one of those right here for you, bud.
Whoa.
Bunch of cheddar rolls there. Ugh. It's from, a couple of days ago for sure. But,
woo!
Yeah.
Wow, those Cheddar Bay biscuits have gone a little too far into the bay.
No, they're fine. They're... Maybe? What do you think? That looks hard. Oh, buddy.
Oh, God.
Okay, these are bad. These are a bad idea. Here, let's toss that outside. No, get out. Get away from there. Get away from there.
Back off.
Jesus.
Dude.
Oh, that's great.
I think I chipped a tooth.
Ooh, it looks like you did. It's your canine there.
No, that's my only original sharp tooth.
Oh,
no!
Buddy. That was that's the OG? That was your OG sharp
That
tooth?
was the last one. The rest of these I just found. Most of these are chiclets.
Oh, come on, man. Chiclets?
Yeah, they get real sharp.
Okay.
And if you leave them outside for long, they get really hard.
Well, I'm sorry you lost the original, buddy.
No!
I'll tell you what, though. Next time an alligator washes up, I'm going to pull the canine out of that bad boy, and I'm giving that to you, so you can replace it with an animal tooth.
I don't think alligators have canines. I think they just have...
I think it depends on the apartment.
Alligate-nines.
I think it depends on the apartment they live in, depending on the rules, Some of them allow pets. Underwater apartments?
Yeah, usually the bayou doesn't allow pets.
Maybe over by you. Oh, boy. Anyway, what I want to say is, so I'm in this restaurant, and after I loaded up the Ziploc baggies, which, unfortunately, sorry, they went bad. I was thinking about you when I loaded them up, but anyway, I'm in there at the salad bar.
Yeah, you thought about me, letting them in these blags. How long have you been holding these things? I can't stop licking where my tooth was.
Yeah, it's That's a gaping hole. That was a big tooth. You gonna be okay? You gonna be okay to finish recording here?
I'll be fine.
Okay. All right. Well, just let me know if you want to, pause it or whatever. It's all good. Just swish it. You're just gonna swish it. Swish. Feel the hole.
Gotta seal the gum.
Okay. All right. Well, anyway, I'll tell you. So I'm at the salad bar, and after I filled up the pockets and sort of filled up my tum-tum, they had some salmon and capers, and man, I cannot
Can't get enough of them capes.
control myself around those things. So after I shoveled in like 2 full platefuls, I started to look around at the other patrons of the restaurant, and I kind of noticed like a strange practice. When I saw the waiters and servers bringing around the trays of food, I just kind of like assumed that there was like stuff in there and they were going to ladle them onto the plates or like, serve the people at the tables. And what I found out from Stu later was that this is this really new, cutting-edge restaurant trying a new fad. And it's basically called Baby Bird style. And what they do is the servers take the food that the patron has ordered, and they chew it up in their mouths. They chew it to a digestible mush, and then they place it into the customer's mouth.
Locks lips and just...
No lock lips. They maintain like a 6-inch distance.
You know what? I'm proud of them. That's sanitation, and that's good.
They did, and they also, right at the entrance, they have this printout which talks about the hygiene habits of how they clean out their servers. It's like, they bleach like their esophagi. They do all this stuff to like make sure that it's sanitary, and they just...
I'm sure that they have, like welcome employees videos of, now let us show you how to properly drink the Drano to make sure that your pipes are nice and clean.
Don't flip the modulator past 6. You're going to choke yourself.
Make sure not to scrub your esophagi too hard with the built-in brush.
Yes.
It may cause internal bleeding.
This is meant to be more of a rinse and less of a power wash. You do not want to be blasting your esophagi.
We do not want their food tainted. We want them to taste the full flavor experience of the baby bird.
Yes, so you do not chip any wall of your esophagus.
Make sure to flut your arms and tweet while you do it beforehand, too.
It's all part of the experience. If you don't,
You're
we will fire
legally
you.
contracted in order to do this.
We own you, baby bird.
You better throw up in that boy's mouth and say, tweet, tweet, squawk.
And if you miss any mouth on your shift, you will be beaten, defeathered, and hosed. So, and needless to say, I was not impressed with this new fad of feeding people. It was, and then even more offensive.
It sounds like something that Stu's into.
Yes, and he was into it. He was like all about this new place. And here's why. It was even more offensive because what they did was they were advertising their servers as the flavoring of the food. So they would say like, oh, Juan, he is Cajun. Would you like a Cajun spice on your dish? And then this Cajun server pukes up the chewed up food into the mouth of the patron.
Here's
and they
Ahmad.
say,
Do you want
Cajun?
Do you want tikka masala?
Yeah, yes. And here's Randy. You want some Southern comfort?
You want white gravy?
Yes. And then Stu's in the background like,
Yes, this is what I've been waiting for.
Keep bringing the gravy boy over.
That's right. Let me hit everyone with the Windex now. The tables need to be cleaned.
yeah. So it was just, it was so bizarre. So I see this scene. I'm looking around.
I'm glad that you found this nice racist restaurant.
Oh boy, and it's in this progressive area of the city. I'm like, I don't, it's just so bizarre. So I'm, when you're starving, you don't notice much around you except for like the food. So once
And the Windex that's probably in your nostrils.
glistening on all the Cheddar Bay biscuits.
Possibly may have gotten in some of the food just by accident.
Excuse me. Just
I didn't even lift my plate, man.
come on. I've got 12 other tables to wipe off in 5 minutes.
The lady is coming over to throw up in my mouth. Please leave.
Okay, I'm gonna watch this now.
Yeah, it's bizarre. It's so weird. So once I ate and my mind was kind of like set, I'm looking around the room at this bizarre scene of these servers vomiting fucking pre-chewed food up into these clients that they're paying a lot of money for this experience to have happened. And so I ended up, I quickly sealed the Ziploc bags in my pocket, and I ran out into the back, and there was a staircase that went down, I just figured into the basement, so I was like, maybe there's going to be some leftover food down there, I can get some more, take some shelter, really just kind of process and possibly block out.
Make it your home away from home for a couple days.
Exactly. I'm like, nobody's coming down here, everybody's upstairs, chewing food and just distributing it again. So what I did was, I'm looking around, and after, I didn't see any food, there was a bar down there, though, so I made myself, a little old-fashioned, it was nice, and, then I looked and there was a TV in the corner, and so I go and turn it on. It was one of those old TVs, not HD. It was very strange. So it was one of those tubes.
TV.
Yeah. It was I don't know if it was it crash ready? It was a big tube.
A big tube TV?
It was a big tube. Yeah, it was it was
cylindrical. It was like Willy Wonka.
Yes, it was. It looked like a portal. It looked like a circular portal into another world. Like a teardrop.
They say that television does take you into a new world.
And it felt like this. I don't know why there aren't
speaking of this new world, what is this new world?
Oh, yes. It's called Just Cause 3. There was this Xbox hooked up to this tubular TV.
No, I get that you're playing the Xbox, but, what were you playing?
Just Cause 3.
No, you were playing it because you wanted to play something.
Yeah.
Not Just Cause.
Just Cause 3.
Well...
Just Cause.
Just Cause?
3.
My brain's starting to hurt here a little bit.
Well, let me try and clear this up. Just cause, not just because, just cause. C-A-U-S-E.
Like because.
Yes, but without the B-E. So just cause. As if you have a cause.
You gotta slow down for me, man.
And in effect, presumably.
And this is the third?
Yes, the third in the series of these games, which anyone might play just cause. Which is what I did. So when I found the Xbox and I fired it up, that was the game inside of it. So I'm sitting down there, door closed, little old-fashioned next to me, and I fire up Just Cause. And Just Cause 3 turns out to be this GTA clone of a game. It's basically like you're on a Caribbean tropical island, and you can do most of the things that you can do in Grand Theft Auto. You can run up to civilians and fight. You're controlling a person in third-person view. You can equip yourself with explosive weapons.
But don't you have access to like a grappling hook or like a jetpack or something like that?
That's the main difference. Is that it's the way I came to think about this game is that it was like GTA meets Far Cry meets the movement of Arkham, the Arkham games.
It's GTA with mods on.
Yeah, essentially, yeah. And you can move, the movement made me think of like Spider-Man or Batman. And Batman specifically because I played more of those, but it's like you have this grappling hook, and you have a squirrel suit and a parachute. Between those three movement modes, you can move around without ever touching the ground. You can use your grappling hook, reel in so you get a speed boost, and then
just
deploy your parachute.
Terror.
Yes, and that's the point of the game, is that you are this revolutionary hero
revolutionary dickhead who likes to fuck around with people's cars.
Named Rico Rodriguez. And he's just this, like Spanish hero guy. And what he does is like, this world you're in that you come into is like this chain of Caribbean islands that are all under a dictator's control, like a fascist dictator. And there's a rebel faction that Rico's a part of, and throughout the whole game you're trying to liberate these outposts and settlements in order to further liberate provinces and eventually topple that regime.
Ooh.
Now, it's a really cool and actiony and fun game, and as I said, like the liberating settlements makes me think of Far Cry 4 especially, and that's kind of the repetitive nature of the game. If there's any gripe I had about it, it's that essentially once you get started, it can be repetitive because really, like, there are a handful of side missions. You can be running through the world and you'll see somebody on the side of the road and their car has just died, and you have to guide their car somehow to the nearest gas station or whatever. There's another one where it's like you might be gliding over a town and all of a sudden you get radioed that there's a rebel who's held hostage in some soldier's car, and you have to locate the car, overtake it, and deliver the rebel to a safe location. So there's
while
like,
he's in the car when it's flying around in like a hot air balloon or something like that.
yeah. Right. Rico, put me down! Yeah, it's Rico doesn't really ask people before he does things. He kind of just
like
stuff.
hooks them up to the thing. He's like, I'm going to liberate you.
We are going for a ride. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. But as I said, when you do a few missions early on in the story, and then it kind of opens you up to either pursue side quests, liberate settlements, or do more story missions.
A massive asshole to non-player characters.
Yeah, of course, which is also the fun. Just like in GTA, sometimes you want to fire that game up and just wreak havoc.
Yep.
And that is another function of this game entirely. You can fire it up, not do anything, like not liberate a settlement, not do a mission, but just wreak havoc on some city. Steal a car, ram it into a police station, and just use your rocket launcher to blow anybody
It's
up
like
who
the
comes out.
pacifists, like, paradise game.
Pretty much.
Where they turn it on and they just let all their, like, built-up aggression just pop out.
My fucking math teacher. I wish you were in this city right now, man. I would have fucking blew you up. In real life, I would have given you a handshake and said, I don't agree with you, but because we're in this video game world, I'm gonna blow your fucking testicles off. You're gonna get a grenade right in your open mouth, man.
Yeah, it's
I'm
kids
gonna
are
make you a scarecrow of dynamite.
kids today are so dark. I know it's strange, but so anyway, I like Just Cause. I love it, especially because it's a pick up and play game. Once you you're not in it for the story. The story is paper thin. The characters are very much like cardboard cutouts.
It sound
Rico,
like just fucking goofy cartoon characters.
yeah, they're exactly what
Viva
you
la
expect.
revolution!
Yes.
I steal your Chrysler!
Yeah. Yes. They're very much like the cardboard cutout. Rico is the hero. There's a woman leader who's like very presidential. Rico's childhood friend Marco is like a clown, and like they're these characters that are
Does
very
your best
much
friend ask you to go bowling?
not that I've gotten to yet. I'm probably like 70% through the game, I think, like mission wise.
And he hasn't even asked you to go bowling once?
No bowling. I don't know how many bowling alleys
That
there
sounds
are.
that sounds like a lot of bad friends.
Yeah.
Also, it sounds like this town sucks if it doesn't have a bowling alley.
A lot of them do suck. It seems like I don't know if it's like the Civil War brewing or if it's, people just that don't care
People
about
just don't
having
understand
fun.
Western culture
They
and
don't.
don't know how to have fun.
Maybe they haven't seen The Big Lebowski.
You know what? Maybe I think they haven't. So you know what I think you need to do?
What?
I think you need to fly down with your parachute pants, touch down, and then immediately just start throwing DVD copies of The Big Lebowski at random civilians.
Make it rain. Maybe I unlock that mode like once you beat it or something.
It's like a cheat code.
Yeah, then you get like this pop, like this chest falls and just poofs, and it's loaded with DVD.
It comes
copies.
in on a flying carpet.
Yes, and it's just you just sit there and you can go, "Viva la revolution!" and just throw out
DVDs.
a bunch of.
You get a marmot gun.
Yeah, shoot it like the t-shirt cannons at the United Center.
Yeah, but full of marmots.
Thunk. Why would I shoot marmots at people?
Because it's a marmot gun.
But what if those could be
It was a fucking marmot, man.
those could be rabbit.
They could be. Well, it depends on where you get them. Are they from a store or are they from like a marmot mill?
I think I don't believe in the ethics of this business, so I'm pretty sure it's from a marmot mill.
Yeah. Well,
Cheap.
you know what?
It's cheaper.
It is cheaper.
Yeah, what are you going to do? So, anyway, though...
The revolution had to make some budget cuts.
Absolutely. What are you going to do?
We couldn't afford vaccinations. We just had to pick up our marmots where we could.
We're fighting for freedom!
Some black market marmots.
Yeah.
Black marmots.
Oh, boy. Yeah. Okay. So, Just Cause 3, it's a lot of fun. As I said, it's great to pick up and play once you get started, to just fire it up and go try and liberate some settlements and blow the shit out of, like, a bunch. That's pretty much how you liberate them, too. It's just destroying various objects and items and wreaking havoc. So, it can be a lot of fun.
And being a general menace to society.
Jackass. And there's a lot of fun missions, too. You fly military jets, you ride a missile, and you have to mess with the guidance of it. You do a lot of like extreme things that are just a lot of fun. The game, as the title suggests, it's a game that's not complicated, and it's just a lot of fun to play, and it allows you to do a lot of things seemingly just cuz.
Just cuz.
Yeah, so I would recommend playing it. It's worth it. It's definitely worth it, especially on sale.
What can you play it on? It sounds like it's an everything system.
I believe it is. I believe it's cross-platform. I don't know about the Switch, but it is on Xbox, PC, and PlayStation for sure.
It probably isn't on Switch. I mean, that game's pretty old, isn't it?
2015 is when Just Cause 3 came out.
Yeah, there's no way that's on the Switch.
Yeah. So
Sucks
just
for you, Nintendo nerds.
Sorry, maybe you should switch it up.
Excuse you.
I really am sorry, but that
I think you had a little bit too much Windex in you.
Restaurant food, probably too much Windex, and I'll tell you, that's the last time I let anybody else digest my food for me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, I mean, at least they did 2/3 of the work, so you only have the last third.
Yeah.
Granted, it's the worst one.
It's the worst third.
It's the worst third.
It's the dirty third.
If they took care of that part, but you got to do the first 2 parts, I think that'd be great. Because you're like, oh, I get to eat the food and taste it and digest it so my belly feels full and I get these nutrients, and then someone else poops it.
If that is a viable business plan, if we could make that business of pooping for other people, where you only get the eating, the tasting of the food, and then digesting and absorbing the nutrients.
You hire a certified pooper for you?
Yes, and someone else has to, like, deal with all the uncomfortable digestion and, like, the pooping afterward. That is money in the bank, my friend.
There's a lot of backlash from that, though. I just imagine, like, teenagers hiring one. It's like, let's do this. And they eat, like, the fucking most atomic hot wings at, like, their local fucking, like, Buffalo Wild Wings or some shit.
And presumably, depending on how long it all takes, you might be able to eat, like, as much as you want of something, right?
Depends on the size of the person, yeah. The bigger you are, the longer it takes to digest.
Maybe you can purchase, like, multiples if you're rich enough, you know? Like, I got a weekend coming up. I'm going to need 5 of your top shitters, man.
It's my cheat day today, so I need my cereal pooper around.
I'm going back to cinnamon rolls just for today, and I'm going to need at least 2 or 3, okay? Do you understand?
I've cut water out of my diet today. I'm only going to be drinking icing.
Best of luck to you fellas, because there's going to be no lubrication on that highway.
I just imagine, like, every single, like, certified pooper is just named, like, Dan.
I like Randy.
Dan and Randy.
Yeah.
Well, this is my life. My name is Dan Randall, and I'm a certified pooper.
You know, it's not the best job, but it does provide a living for me and my wife, Linda.
I do get a lot of benefits, but not any health benefits.
No hospital will see me.
But I will let you know that I am under 150 pounds. Granted, because it's very hard for me to keep nutrients inside my body.
And I spend about 8 to 12 hours a day on the toilet.
I eat as many Fiberall pills as I can.
Provided by my employer.
But because my employer is the one to press the eject button, it doesn't let it sit in my body.
And I can't read either.
It's really tough.
Poor Dan.
Really, and Randy. They have rough lives. Anyway, but yeah, so Just Cause 3, if you're still around and you made it through all of that, play Just Cause 3. It's a lot of fun, and you don't have to worry or get too caught up in a story or anything complicated.
Wow. You know, that sounds fascinating.
Yeah.
It's good to know that, you know, at least you're trying new places, trying new foods. I'm trying new things too.
Are you?
Yeah. I got a bicycle.
What? Oh my... Yeah, look at that thing.
You like it?
Hey!
Get out of here!
Okay, yeah. I'm not going to stick my head out the doorway again, but yeah, that looks nice. Doesn't even look like rusty at all.
Yeah. I found it.
That's great, man.
Yeah, this like little bike shop in Wicker Park. It's like it's close to the Damon Blue Line.
Sure.
And it was just like sitting there.
Uh-huh.
So I'm walking around. I'm walking down Wicker, you know. Now that I'm wearing cleaner clothing, people don't really like treat me odd anymore, because, you know, I can just like walk down the street and people are just like, hello.
Right.
I can't see your face because you've got the hoodie kind of like hiding your eyes, but
yes,
you do have some pearly whites.
And
I always say thank you.
Yeah, you give them that little scowl of your own. Yeah.
What's it? But
so you're biking.
So I found this bicycle and I said, you know what? It's time for me to get in shape.
I didn't even know you could ride a bike, to be honest.
There's a lot of things you don't really know about me.
It's true. I guess not to be like, I'm not trying to offend or anything. I've never seen you do like hardly anything physical except for like run away occasionally. But that the way that you run sometimes like didn't leave me to believe that like you were.
It's
able
hard to
ride
run
a
in
bike.
flip-flops. I'm sorry.
I know.
I really like flip-flops.
I know. That's why I don't wear those though, because we have to run sometimes.
Yeah, but like it keeps my feet free. And I don't step on things.
They're probably comfortable. I will give you that. Those look
they're
comfortable.
They're pretty comfortable. Nice. I have to say.
They're really worn in.
Yeah. This one's a little tight though.
Like that one looks actually like a kid's flip flop, and it looks like it's about as thin as some toilet paper. That's like really thin.
Yeah, I put this on maybe like 2 or 3 years ago. I haven't been able to get it off.
Yeah.
Nah.
It's like a ring that's stuck on there.
Yeah, it's kind of like, you know, the husband that gets a little too fat and the ring's just there forever.
Pretty classic. Classic tale. Happy husband.
Dan Randall with his ring finger stuck.
He couldn't poop enough to keep the weight off.
You know, I keep losing weight around my abdomen, but my hands are so swollen.
Must be the sodium.
But in any case, so I'm starting to ride bikes, and I'm like, you know what? I should watch something involving bikes. I want to see if there's any cool like get ready for biking like instructional videos or whatever.
Right.
So I'm perusing through Netflix, and I come across this film called Icharus.
Icarus.
Yes, and I was like, you know
Ick.
what? Icarus.
Yes.
I came across this film, and I was like, oh, this seems like it would be like. I get it, like Icarus flew too close to the sun.
Right, and
make sure not to
died.
get all hot and stuff when you bike because
Right.
it's really hard.
And don't go
'Cause
biking with your dad.
Here's the thing, Dan. Here's the thing. It's really hard for me to bike with both of my feet on it, so I just kind of do one, and then I let the other one like scoot on the ground.
Oh, like half skateboarding, half biking.
It's like a scooter.
Yeah. Without an engine.
It's going okay, and I thought that Icarus would like show me how to ride a bike better.
Or at least melts by going too close to the sun.
It didn't do any of that.
Ugh.
So it turns out that Icharus is a documentary, and it's about this guy named Brian Fogel who wanted to do doping. He wanted to take some steroids so he could win some amateur biking contests. He didn't want to go big league. He didn't want to go to Lance Armstrong. He was just like, I want to do some biking stuff. I want to get strong, and I want to feel good. So he gets in.
So drugs are the answer.
Drugs
for
are the
me.
answer. So he gets in touch with this guy called Grigory Rodchenkov.
Okay.
We're gonna-
The name Grigory wasn't a tip-off.
I was just gonna call him Grieg.
It's a knockoff. Isn't that not knockoff of Gregory? Wouldn't you say that
You know
with
what?
the name of Gregory?
I think Grigory is just like the knockoff, like Aldi brand Greg.
It is.
Listen, I'm going to sell you things. You can call me Grigory.
Hello, I am Grigory. My teeth are round. I've got teeth like a hippo. They're
me
just
Grig.
they're marshmallow shaped, but they are very tough.
I work part-time at a restaurant where I chew food for patrons and spit it back into their mouths.
Do you taste that? I made it myself.
Name is Greg. Ask for me again.
Hello, I'm Greg. Do you want some ranch dressing? Hold on.
Yes.
But in any case, he gets in touch with Grieg, and it turns out that Grieg, who is the head of the anti-doping laboratory in Russia,
Whoa.
he decides while he's giving drugs to Brian that he's going to come clean, and this documentary ends up becoming about the doping scandal in Russia for the Olympics.
I have heard about this documentary. I just didn't know it was called Icarus. That's cool.
It is terrifying.
I bet.
Holy shit. The whole documentary, so Brian is constantly in Skype conversations with Grieg, and he was already making a documentary about taking the steroids. He wanted to know how it was done. And then while they were doing it, they started forming a close friendship until finally Grieg was like, I think Putin is going to kill me.
Oh, man.
So from Grigory, we find out how Russia has been getting away with their doping, how they use their the type of steroid they use. It can not be detected in urine after a certain amount of days.
Interesting.
So what he was doing was he was having people pre-pee in cups and bags and shit, freezing it for a couple days so that the dope can't really be read in it. And then you would swap it out with, like this clean pee. And you're like, oh, look, he's not doping. He is a good person. He is going to win gold medals.
Everyone wins. He has family.
Everyone wins except everyone else but Russia.
Anyone but Russia.
Anyone but Russia.
They are losers.
And so Grigory comes to the States. He goes into the witness protection program, and they actively try and do things to his face to make him not recognizable so he isn't murdered like fucking journalists.
Wow.
He has to shave his facial hair. He changes his hair color. He gets a spray tan so he can't stand out.
Yes.
He is doing everything in his power to make sure that Putin or his agents cannot find him.
I'm imagining when he walks out of whatever shop he got all this work done, that it's like some disco music, and he like kicks the shop door.
No, it's like Spider-Man 3. It's like Spider-Man 3 when Tobey Maguire comes out and he's all emo and shit.
Yes, and he's just like dancing, and it's like, yeah, and everyone else is kind of like, wow, dude, you are gross.
Wow, that is an obviously Russian. Is that Grigory? No, I am not Grigory.
No.
I am Fridori.
And then he just jams him into the neck with a needle and drags their fucking unconscious corpse off the
He
sidewalk.
jabs him in the neck, and they're like, oh, what did you do? Make sure to cover that spot for a couple of days. Make sure to pee in a clean plastic bag, and I'll be back in 7 days.
Else they will come for you.
But it goes like real hard into how Russia got away with doping.
Yeah.
And it's incredible the amount of shit they did, like the shadiness of it all, because there are like these special pee cups that are made for Olympic athletes, where it's got like a twist top on the top of it, but it's got like metal barbs into it to make sure it's like locked in. Once you lock it and the piss is in there, it can't get out, and because it's so airtight, the piss can stay normal for it will stay at the way it was when you peed into it months ahead. So what Russia was doing was they'd get those cups, and before any doping happened, they'd pee in them.
Yeah.
So you have pure, clean piss.
Right.
Then they would hide it in like a fridge in their labs. Like you can't find the fridge normally.
Right.
You have to open up a couple like cases and
Secret
shit.
doors.
It's like fucking Frankenstein's mansion of piss cups.
Piss storage, special pee cups with metal
pee
barbs.
cups. Well, this is like that's the certified cup. Like everyone gets that cup.
Wow.
It looks like a baby bottle pop, but you fill it with pee.
What the fuck? And there's metal barbs in there?
There's
I feel like
metal
I'm not
barbs in
peeing
there.
in that.
Well, the metal barbs are in the cap, so you can still piss in it and it's normal. No! But then once you twist it on, it's like there's the barbs, and it's like it's like a cat dick.
A special lock into play. Oh yeah, like a cat. Or like no, the dog when it's inside like a female dog, like it like sprouts like hooks so it won't come out.
No, dogs don't do that. They just swell up. Cats have the spines.
Oh, the hook. Oh god. Either way, what the fuck is with cats and dogs? It's like,
why can't they have normal penises like me?
It's like fucking rapey. Every single like sexual encounter between them is like rapey. It's like once you get in there, it's like, no, we're not gonna stop.
Once I ejaculate, I'm gonna bite on you.
That's right. Yeah, weird.
But it goes into Grigory going to, I think it was the New York Times, 60 Minutes, and all these other places to give his full story, giving them paperwork with fucking Putin's signature on it.
Well, obviously, if he's head of the anti-doping agency in Russia, he is the face. He is Putin's guy. So that's the kind of whistleblower that like everyone looks for as a news organization. It was
huge, but Putin goes hard in the I did not do any of that.
Of
and
course.
they just let the Russians go.
Well, they did ban Russia
banned them from certain events.
Well, and from one like Olympic game round, I think.
Yeah.
Like they got banned, they've been hit with sanctions, and like the Olympic community is, I think, well aware of Russia's like doping stuff.
They're still doping.
Yeah.
Like there's no question.
This is This is a very recent documentary, right?
Yeah, this documentary came out towards the end of 2017.
Yeah.
And the actual story took place, it started, I think, in 2015, 2016.
Yeah. So it's real recent that these things are coming out.
It's very current. And holy shit, like the amount of the lengths that Russia went for this doping, holy shit.
Yeah.
And it makes me think like there has to be other countries who have done just this amount of shit.
Probably.
Like to think that America doesn't do anything like this.
Right.
Where they think about like, all right, I'm going to piss into an ice cube tray and then we're just going to...
Yeah, right. Well, they do also talk about like American athletes, not even Olympians, but like just professional athletes, football players especially.
Football and baseball players, big time.
Exactly. They talk about the lengths people go to avoid detection and still be able to dope. Like they're believing that there are like professional athletes who don't aid themselves with like drugs in some fashion for their performance, I feel like that's naive. Like everybody in some form or another is getting
It's very much
shot.
like, oh, it's not a problem until someone gets caught.
Yes, exactly.
Like, sweep it under the rug, but then as soon as, like, oh, shit, why does that man have the big purple needle mark on his ass?
Right. That's a track mark, isn't it?
It's a birthmark.
It's a pimple.
It's a pimple.
I am gonna lance it later.
I met my serial poo-poo today, and he wasn't a fan, so I had to take over again. I strained a little too hard, and bam, butt pimple.
Oh, buddy. I'm sorry, Freak. That's horrible. I didn't know you used to play football.
Freak probably, you know what? I think
He should have. I'm sure some
Freak
coach
was actually into basketball.
Oh, I could see that. I was
I
going to
could
say
see
some
him going
coach
for the 3-point shot.
wherever he went to school, some coach was pitching, was like trying to get that kid on their team. Like, hey,
Too
come on,
bad that
buddy.
he was like sitting in bathrooms, like
Talking
talking
to
to
ghosts.
walls.
Yeah.
Going,
Do you need service today, Mad Moody?
Right, which is probably why he dropped out and has found his own way as a spirit
well, you know what?
detective.
At least he's following his in his father's footsteps,
Yes,
his grandfather's footsteps.
which you could probably still see. Spirit footsteps.
I don't
He says he watches those.
Yeah, he probably watches his grandfather all the time.
Yeah. How
Hey,
weird.
Grandpa, are you want your spirit free today? No, son. No, I don't want to be free.
Oh, it's a nice little family reunion. Every day, I bet that happens too. Freak probably checks in with him.
Just like bumping into his grandpa, like,
Get out of the way, Grandpa. I have to pee.
After 2 years of checking on him every day,
Grandpa,
he's a
you
burden.
You filled up the bedpan with ectoplasm.
You're goo.
Your goo is everywhere, Grandpa.
Oh boy. Okay, well, Icarus is the documentary.
Icarus.
Very fun. How did you watch that again?
That is on Netflix.
There you go. Icarus on Netflix, documentary on the Russian doping scandal. Just Cause 3, a video game.
Because why not?
Yeah, because why not? Play it. It's a lot of fun. And
Yakuza Kiwami for
indeed,
PS4.
not the tropical fruit, the PS4 game. Give it a shot.
Where you play as a gang member trying to make his life right.
And repeatedly beat up a breakdancing boss.
Hey! Hey, get out of here!
Jesus! Oh my God! Stop! No! Stop it!
Your thumbtacks aren't working!
No, I'm gonna pick him up. I'm gonna use him. I'm gonna pick him up and use him.
He's too strong!
Oh shit! He kicked it out of my hand. Ow!
Oh my God, run!
Hey,
Run!
fine. No, take your fucking dog. Take it. Ah! Fuck you!
Damn. We lost out on a good meal. You okay? You've got some serious claw marks on your hands.
Oh, my hands and my cheek. He got me on the cheek there.
Well, you know what?
Ouch.
Now you have war scars. You look better.
Oh, I feel it hurts. Really hurts.
Yeah, it looks like it hurts.
Angry.
Well, you know what? I'm feeling a bit peckish. How about we get the baby bird special?
Yeah, you want to go over to the baby bird place?
No, I could really go for some Caesar dressing.
Okay, let's do it. Let's do that. Okay, Greg and I are going to go get some food fed to us. Thank you again for listening. Appreciate it. Boxcar Buddies on all social media stuff. Boxcar Buddies Podcast at gmail.com.
Check out our beautiful pictures that Donald takes.
Yeah.
You know, my
sometimes
robot
I'll-
hand actually is pretty great at taking pictures sometimes.
Yeah.
So you see like the nail right here?
Yep, that's the
Like,
one. Right on the
here?
middle finger.
There's a little camera right there.
Not
so I can just
flicking me off. Point and click, and don't be offended. Flick and click, more likely.
Man,
Did you lose it?
the photo gets all like wonky and fuzzy. I think it's because my hand shakes too often. Too many circuits.
Yeah, definitely. So sometimes what I'll do is I'll either grab Greg's robot hand and take it with me and go snap some pictures. I've also found some burner phones that I can snap some pictures of, and I'll hook them up to a computer when we're recording and stuff, and then we post them, and it's a lot of fun. It's nice when I'm walking around the city. It's just something I like to throw up. But either way,
We also can get one of those disposable like Kodak
yeah,
cameras.
24 pics just on the
Yeah,
reel.
then we just scan it at a Target or a Staples.
Yeah, and which we'll do. We do that from time to time. So
Or sometimes we'll just take a picture of the picture that we took.
yeah, and it's like one of those infinity portraits. It just keeps on going. The same image.
It gets
like-
grainier the more and more pictures we take, but it looks great. It's like a Picasso painting,
Yes, it is.
but with a picture of a deer.
A dear friend, perhaps.
I don't know any deer friends. I have human friends.
Yeah, I do. I mean, you're
You
my.
want to make a deer friend?
Yeah, I do actually.
Fine. You want to go stag? You want to find a stag?
I want to be stag all the time.
No.
I am stag all the time. But anyway, so yeah, check us out on social media.
You mean
like
that dough?
I mean that dough.
Okay.
I'm that rad stag dough. You know what I'm saying?
I'm leaving.
Okay, well, yeah, we're both going to leave. Thank you so much for checking in with us again, and we'll talk next week.
Toodles.
Bye!
Goddamn bird. Yeah, dude, you look like you got a tic-tac-toe board on your face.
Yeah, he flew by twice, and it was...
Hold on.
Your circles, I'm X's. Your circles, I'm X's.
Alright, circle right here.
Okay, alright, my turn now. Ow. Ow.
And...
Ow! Ow!
Tic-tac-toe!
Ah! You don't have to do the line. Owie.
But how will I know that I won without the line?
Alright, let's get some food, and let me get some fucking Band-Aid.
Bye.